Blah.
Hey! Will you shut the freak up?
Rabbids. Rabbids, 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 rabbids. Do I really need to introduce you all to these guys? Fascinating creatures, are they not? Brave, but of the whole stupid. Yes, they're stupid.
Our conclusion is a simple one. These creatures are all stupid.
Except for the occasional one, such as we have here. And that is Rabbid Mario! This absolutely buff and overpowered creature, oh my gosh. Who else could possess such incalculable strength? Sorry, wrong one. As much as I would love to gush about the MVP himself, we're not here to talk about him. Instead, we're here to talk about the one he was trying to woo for some reason. And that is the Steward of Sparks herself, Edge. But before I get into her, first I'd like to talk about the game she originated from, and my history with the first one. But no worries to those who just want to hear my thoughts on Edge. Here, have a timestamp. And have no shame in this, I too tend to be like this. Now this tale begins back in 2017, where we were granted this trailer for Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. And I was excited for some reason. Though many others were ever so skeptical of this trailer, which, looking back, I can understand why. I mean, Mario plus the Rabbids, the most infamously sporadic creatures in media, next to the minions. There's no way this would work well.
What a bunch of hippy-dippy baloney.
And yet, it did. This game was honestly great. It was funny, the combat was excellent, and it was received pretty well by everyone. I'm sure me and Lachlan loved playing this game as we count down the days until we get Super Mario Odyssey. And yet, I still think we played this game just as much as Mario Odyssey. It was just that fun. Honestly, this game was probably just a free excuse for Nintendo to make this one Mario meme canon.
Yahoo! Mario? Yahoo! With gun! Super gangster Mario!
Now we cut to roughly 2021, where this new trailer dropped for a new Mario plus Rabbids title. Now we see Mario go in a spaceship exploring the galaxy, and there's these Rabbid Luma hybrids floating around here, and the Rabbids have their own unique voices instead of just one guy voicing them all, and new kinds of weapons where Mario gets 2 guns instead of 1, and now there's a Rabbid Rosalina? What is this new game shaping up to be? Well, I couldn't tell you back in that day, because I didn't buy this game when it released.
Oh, Squidward.
I was already preoccupied with LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga and Splatoon 3. But a few months ago, I was able to see how beloved this game was here and there, especially with some people praising the quality of some original characters for that game, compared to the previous anyway. And then came March 10th, 2026, more famously known as
Mario Day!
On that day, I streamed myself playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with some friends and viewers. And after that stream ended, I decided to search through the eShop to see if there's any Mario games on sale. And then it hit me. I decided to find and buy Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Not just any version, nah, I got the Gold Edition. It's got the game itself, a couple extra weapon skins, and all 3 DLCs. And all for the reasonable price of $102. And since it was Mario Day, this version was on sale for 90% off, meaning I got this game for a cheap $12 plus tax. So after I used my mom's credit card to buy this and putting $13 into my mom's money drawer to pay her back, since after all, I'm a man of my word, I started planning and announcing a playthrough of this game. I couldn't wait. And I gotta say, this game is also great. A nice 8.5 out of 10 in my humble opinion. The gameplay's great, the story is more intriguing than the first one, and the characters are so likable and funny, especially the Rabbid counterparts, since they're a lot more fleshed out than the last game. Rabbid Mario is a tryhard with imposter syndrome, and also a hopeless romantic. As well as an absolute chad in some ways. Rabbid Luigi is like a hyperactive child who tends to be a lovable little goofball. Rabbid Peach is a prima donna, diva, valley girl, and a total And Rabbid Rosalina is a mood. and quite relatable at times. And then there's the Wardens. Augie is a pathetic man-child that I would want to hug. Captain Orion is your classic sailor character that I love for some reason. I mean, that's why I think the guy from Ruby Gilded Teenage Kraken is the best character by far.
Time for the Gordon Special! Surprise! It's a bomb!
T.S. Woodrow thinks he's part of a Shakespearean play. Bia is odd. Just odd. Mama is one of the few that really earned her title of Warden. And Allegra is just another strong yet pure soul. I think my only few gripes with this game is we don't see much of the Spark Hunters after the middle cutscenes. Plus, I'm certain that some people have trouble with some of the puzzles, especially the Professor Backpack puzzle at Palette Prime. Like, I still don't fully understand the answer to that one. Also, in the Rayman DLC, there's that mission with the Kraken. I'm so sorry, but I hated that mission! Oh my gosh. All the times you had to just run around the freaking map to try to get up close to and personal to the Kraken, to just freaking shoot the Dark Mess eyes. Like, that was a hassle. Oh my gosh. Like, I got a bronze medal the first time I completed that. Then I struggled to get a gold medal out of some luck. And also, just, oh my gosh, that rocket from Rayman was just so hard to control. Like, why did it keep going down? Why did it keep going down? I was trying to detonate at the one, oh my gosh. I'm gonna be blunt, that part was entirely unscripted. I'm still fresh off that DLC and its annoyance. But just that level though, everything else was great. Also, I have a question for Nintendo and Ubisoft. Where's Wario and Waluigi? As well as the other Spark Hunters, especially Kanya. Come on, Nintendo and Ubisoft. Where are these guys and the Spark Hunters after their respective games? We need answers. Sorry, that was a little creepy. And Edge stands above just about any other Rabbid in existence, save for the Mario copies in many ways. Like, don't get me wrong, the Rabbid counterparts are great themselves, and if you like them over Edge, I can totally understand. But I'm gonna make sure the spotlight is on her for now. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you why she's my personal favorite Rabbid character of all time. Plus, considering the previous video I made was about analyzing an irredeemable monster in the form of Reclusa, I decided to, in the words of King K. Rool, tip the scales to the side of good and talk about one of the greatest heroes in the Mario universe. Now, much like the previous one, I'll be breaking this video into a few segments. 1, her design and personality. 2, how she works in battle. 3, her voice actress's performance. 4, her story arc. And 5, her reception and popularity. And once again, if I missed something, feel free to respectfully correct me in the comments. Now, her design is the first thing to tell you how she sticks out from the other Rabbids, especially the ones in Mario attire. First of all, her outfit, composed of a torn purple shirt, a black leather jacket, fingerless gloves, a green belt, a black strap with a pink loop on her right side, and shoes, which usually wouldn't be seen as anything special, but Rabbids are usually barefoot, so yeah. Then there's her hair, which kinda looks like a black flame with some green streaks, as well as a couple of purple diamond earrings, which aren't on her actual ears? Then there's the details of her face, which is slightly different from the average Rabbid, as her eyes are a bit bigger, bluer, and closer to each other, coupled with green eyebrows and a little bit of magenta eyeshadow to top it all off. Then her mouth, which not only lacks the peach oval you'll see on other Rabbids, is not only colored orange, but instead of 2 buck teeth, it's sharp. Also, there's the detail of her hair at the front. The little bangs, as you see, as pointed out by many, are very similar to Peach's. I thought this was worth mentioning because it could imply that from the Megabug's memories, Cursa, intentionally or not, baked elements of Peach and Bowser into Edge's look, which is pretty interesting to say the least. All these differences are meant to show that she's far less animalistic than, well, Rabbid-like.
Obviously.
And the coolest part of Edge is her sword. She wields a big buster sword that's also quite Rabbid-like, especially on the edge.
Just shut the frig up! You know talent, mediocre piece of.
But more on that sort later. As for her personality, she's shown to be confident, level-headed, fearless, no-nonsense, and a bit stoic as well. Though this also doesn't make her boring, since she doesn't seem to be free from the common comedic tendencies of the Rabbid series. Especially when Rabbid Mario jumped into her arms upon the sight of the giant wiggler. Plus, her no-nonsense side really shines in the dance party cutscene, where she just stands there leaning on her sword. Now, one would probably look at this scene and think that she needs to let loose and have a bit of fun every now and then, which I get, but on the other hand, let's not forget that at this point of the story, she's the only one that knows Cursa personally, and thinks they should be prioritizing stopping her. You know, this type of behavior reminds me of someone from a certain classic film. Because you know who else stands out from a zany cast of goofballs as the more serious, no-nonsense, yet kindest and most strong-willed person of the cast?
My mom!
No, who I meant to say was, Ben from Barnyard. Like, despite coming from a rather goofy movie, he's like this movie's equivalent of a stern yet kind father, especially to Otis. And I feel like Edge is quite similar to him in that regard, though less of a father and more of a protective older sister, if that makes any sense. Not only that, but she also seems to be pretty intelligent, especially for a rabbit. Now, while the Mario Rabbids are pretty intelligent themselves, I'd say they're more average intelligence. Edge, however, seems pretty smart since she considered how the others would perceive her if they knew she was a Spark Hunter right off the bat, although that one could be perceived as more insecure than intelligent. And when she heard Mama's transmission and was rightfully skeptical, which was the right move all along considering it was Daphne all along.
It's you! It's you!
I knew it!
She's also shown to be a bit cold and aloof, especially when asked about something related to her past, to which she either shuts down said question or even snaps a bit upon being asked. However, said aloofness isn't out of maliciousness, or because, people. Instead, it's more so out of fear of losing trust from her allies, but more on that later. Despite being shown to be quite the ominous and intimidating stranger at first, especially towards Augie when she shushes him, Edge is genuinely benevolent. In her introduction, after she demonstrated how competent and downright awesome she is by taking out all the stooges, she would then turn her attention to Twinkle. Seeing how scared the little guy is, she gives a smile, puts her sword down, and gets into a gentle position to allow Twinkle to approach her without fear. And with some initial hesitation, he would, showing the heroes, and therefore us, that she's a kind person despite her menacing appearance. Though it's not just towards her allies or the innocent that she shows kindness to, she also genuinely cares about the Spark Hunters, even going so far as to try to help them turn against Cursa as well. But instead, out of sheer fear of facing Cursa's wrath, they turn their backs on her. Now, after defeating Midnight, Edge has a chance to just behead her with her sword, but she doesn't. She lets her leave instead. Now, this is especially after Midnight betrayed her over Cursa, imprisoned Rabbid Rosalita, then Captain Orion, and tried to kill the heroes. The fact that Edge was refusing to kill her here shows that she still cares about her old allies. Heck, judging from the looks of both Midnight and Bedrock, I don't think they wanted to turn on Edge in the first place. Daphne, on the other hand, honestly, Edge's kindness must know no bounds if she also tried to get Daphne of all people to turn on Cursa. Now this, I think, shows that Edge is a real hero, especially in the way that Peter Cullen describes. And what I specifically mean by this is something important that his late brother Larry said to him when he told him he was auditioning for Optimus Prime.
I'm going to audition. I'm going to be, I'm auditioning as a truck. He did the same thing. And so I said, but Larry, he's, evidently he's a hero truck. He's a real, he's a hero. And his face got somber and he said, Peter, if you're going to be a hero, be a real hero. Don't be a Hollywood hero type with all the BS and all the yelling and screaming and trying to be tough. Be strong enough to be gentle. Okay, Larry, yeah.
And, well, I think Edge fits this bill pretty well. For as strong and confident as she is, she's also strong enough to be gentle. Now, the most noticeable detail of Edge's appearance are these smirks she gives, coupled with a little chuckle at times. Now, these could give the impression of her being slightly sadistic, though honestly, this may also just be a little quirk or habit that she was born with, considering that Cursa created her. I don't know for sure which is the case, but regardless, it does add to the menacing demeanor she's got here. Plus, she even gives this look when she's about to help finish off Cursa, though this definitely isn't sadistic, as it's more like, you know, yes, finally!
Finally!
Which, can you really blame her? I mean, look at Mario and Luigi when they're about to finish off Cursa. That's not just determination, that's contempt. I mean, you know you're a monster if you manage to cheese off Mario of all people. Plus, you know who else was so evil that he cheesed off both Mario Bros to the point of wanting him dead?
My mom!
No, not her. All I meant to say was Reclusa. Doesn't that just say it all? Anyway, back to Edge. Now here's the interesting part. She's apparently inspired by two characters in a lot of ways. Guts from Berserk and Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. Never have I watched this anime nor played this game, and its multiple sequels/variants. But just looking at these two, then at Edge, will likely tell you all you need to know. Plus, I've heard Edge gives Final Fantasy protagonist vibes, so yeah. This will be a brief segment, but still worth mentioning. Now, while she's not as absolutely broken and overpowered as Rabbid Mario, especially with glitter on hand, she is still an incredibly skilled hero to have on the battlefield. First of all, her main weapon. She can throw her sword at enemies like a boomerang, and when it comes back, there's a chance it can do extra damage. Plus, when fully upgraded, she can dash enemies not only 4 times at the max, but also expand her area of movement with each dash. Then there's Stormblade, where she can slash any number of enemies on sight at light speed.
When I see you, it's on sight!
Also, if you move around with Stormblade on, she runs holding her sword backwards. Hey, you know who else holds their blade backwards for practical purposes?
My mom!
Okay, that's enough!
My apologies, I'm sorry, oh gosh, it's just getting on my nerves. Where was I? Oh, Ahsoka Tano, or Starkiller, or Sephiroth. That is not an important detail at all, I just genuinely thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, this praise isn't exclusive to Edge, as all the others were voiced quite well, especially Beepo and Genie.
Also, pumpkin spice is overrated.
Wait, Genie? Was that a joke?
Is it?
Regardless, I have got to give my props to Lexi Kendrick, as she made Edge sound as confident and slightly cocky as she needed to be.
Let's see here. On me. Come on. All right. Move it. Want more? Come on! Come on! Anyone else? Up you go.
Gotcha!
Ouch. Can't hide. One and done. Keep 'em coming. Ha! Whoosh! Full of hot air. Too easy. That's how it's done. Okay then. That'll do. That was a fight. Ha! Every trail has puddles. Pathetic. Can't puff ourselves up. Yeah. Go on. Let's finish this. Queen of the mountain, just dead weight. Hits the spot. Kingpin down. Not big enough. Bunch of scurvy skunks. Just might make it. Go! Hello. You got lucky. One down. On guard. That'll work. Ha! Smart. Showtime. Yeah, they fall hard.
Even when she only has to say a small part of a piece of dialogue, she's able to capture how she's feeling or thinking when saying it.
Not a spark hunter. Spaceship, huh? Beepo, my friend. Not a ghost. Let her go. Enough talk. That round fella?
Edge, you must know a way.
How's that?
You know Bedrock. You know Midnight. There is something you are choosing not to tell us, isn't there?
Listen! Hear this.
You were a spark hunter, weren't you?
No.
You're part of our family now. And that means you don't need to keep secrets. Not from us.
Thanks. Well...
The primary reason I give this part some attention is that, while obviously not exclusive to her, I love the fact that she sounds absolutely nothing like the average Rabbid, who just say blah all the time.
Shut up! What? Are you kidding me? I'm in a meeting! Shut up!
Oh my god, kill my guy.
And yet, while I say this, I know she's even got her own blah herself.
Blah. What?
And even then, it fits her like a glove. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what makes Edge stand out from the rest of the Rabbids, and maybe even other Mario heroes in general. The writing for Edge, while not original in some places, is great. So let's start at the beginning of her story. After Cursa is done possessing Rosalina, she would create the Spark Hunters, a group composed of creatures made solely from a mix of Rabbid DNA and other unique elements/traits. And once she was done with the first three, she would then create Edge, and would gift her with, well, an edge. Upon being granted sentience and free will, she would see Cursa for what she truly was. In her own words, a black hole of greed leading to a bottomless pit of misery. It is unknown how long it took her to do this, and who knows what she did as a Spark Hunter, but once she discovered this, she would attempt to turn Midnight, Daphne, and Bedrock to the light. But they, out of fear of Cursa's wrath, would turn their backs on her. After nearly escaping with her life, she would hit the road and devote her life to saving as many sparks as she could before the other Spark Hunters could catch them. And this would bring her to Beacon Beach, where she would encounter a group of heroes traveling through space looking to get to Cursa. Knowing that they would never accept a Spark Hunter into their group, former or not, she would hide this fact from them for the rest of her time on the ship. But despite her intimidating presence, she would prove to be incredibly beneficial to the team through her bravery and selflessness. And yet, the team had a hunch she was hiding something from them. Especially when Midnight mentions being her former friend. But every time she would be asked this, she wouldn't answer, being quick to tell them not to pry into her past. That is, until they reach Cursa's stronghold and encounter the Dark Mess Edge. To which Genie would state that there was no way Cursa could create such a clone unless she already had some prior DNA, or created some herself. And once the battle was over, everyone would connect the dots. And now, knowing that she can't hide it anymore, Edge comes clean about her past. She wasn't just a Spark Hunter, she was the leader. Something she feels absolutely ashamed of and remorseful about. And after she explains her full story up until Beacon Beach, she was ready to leave the group, understanding their decision to kick her out. But they don't. She thought they didn't have a single reason to believe her pure intentions, but, like Beepo says, they have 100. Like, every time she helped them save a spark, or every time she helped kick butt on the battlefield, or every time she nearly fainted at the sight of Rabmor's enormous biceps. Wait, sorry, wrong one. Every time she showed she still cared about the Spark Hunters. The heroes don't see her as this scary former Spark Hunter. Maybe not anymore. They see her as not just an ally or even a friend, but a hero. If that wasn't enough, Chidi says she's now part of their family, and that she doesn't have to keep secrets from them anymore, which what the heck. I'll play the clip from Amphibia.
Oh, I love the found family trope!
And I think we can hear just how grateful Edge is to hear all of that. To now truly, without fear, be a part of a group she cares for, and in turn, cares about her. Now this scene, as obvious as it sounds, is what humanizes Edge and really sells me on her as a character. Although, that was kinda obvious that she was a former Spark Hunter, judging from her facial features being similar to the other Spark Hunters, how she's unwilling to talk about her past, and Augie straight up calls her one just from the looks of her. But the twist at the end isn't just that she was a Spark Hunter, but the leader. Now, call me uncultured, but I don't often see the leader of an enemy faction defecting from the side of evil more so than a certain member, so that's pretty unique. Now, funnily enough, this scene isn't wholly original. I've seen this type of thing before where a character hides a secret out of shame and fear of what their friends might think of it. How original, I know. But hey, just because a trope is unoriginal doesn't mean it can't be done well. I mean, look at Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Regardless on how you feel about this trope, it makes perfect sense that she would hide this for so long. I don't think she would have ever willingly opened up about her past without the Darkness Edge showing up. Just like how Maui would never open up to Moana about his past if it wasn't for Tamatoa, or how Romy would never open up about her patterns to Mira and Zoe if it wasn't for Gino and the demons, and so on and so forth. You know, it's funny, but also interesting that despite being absolutely fearless on the battlefield, to the point of almost asking people to hit her, which, jeez, Edge is scared of the thought of being abandoned and rejected by her allies. Not gonna lie, something about that feels pretty relatable. Plus, she was expecting to be kicked out since that seems to happen a lot in certain stories where the heroes don't believe the former villain has changed for the better. But I think she was lucky this time around, since Mario and Luigi and Peach are probably the most forgiving and empathetic characters in the series. I mean, it also makes sense from a gameplay perspective, but let's not worry about that. So yeah, this scene is great. Although I've heard some people say it would have been better if the other Spark Hunters were present during this, maybe revealing Edge's secret to the heroes in some way, which, yeah, that would have been cool. Would have given him more screen time. But this scene works regardless of that. Now here's the really interesting part. Edge kinda qualifies as a redeemed villain, and she makes for a pretty interesting one too. Now, while I don't think it's as done well as icons like Darth Vader, Megamind, Omni-Man, and the one and only Prince Zuko, it's still a good one for how unique it is, because unlike the others, we don't see her villainous deeds at all, yet we see how much remorse she has over them. Plus, the fact that she was granted enough free will to think and lead, and chose to rebel against Cursa after learning what kind of monster she is, truly shows how good at heart she really is, because let's not forget about Kanya, who only defected from Cursa because she hated taking orders from her. So, the fact that Edge was created for evil and chose to do good is just really interesting. Plus, unlike Vader, Megamind, Omni-Man, and Zuko, who primarily changed their ways after being shown kindness by someone pure of heart, and would put in the work to change their ways for that someone, although that's not always the case, and it's not always that simple. Edge, on the other hand, would change her ways right then and there after escaping Cursa. Now, let me reiterate one last time here. Edge was created by Cursa to do her evil bidding. But after she was granted enough free will to think and lead, she'd defect from Cursa and not only repent of her unseen evil deeds, but became one of the greatest heroes in the Mario universe. And here's where I'd like to draw some attention to a line from Parthenax from Skyrim. Now, I've not played this game, and heck, the only reason I know of this speech is because it's Charles Martinet voicing this dragon. Regardless, I'm gonna give you all a listen to this compelling line he says at the end of his speech.
What is better, to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort?
Now, the only reason I bring this up is, while she was one of the main characters that was front and center in the marketing for this game, I'm not sure if she's as beloved as other Mario spin-off heroes like Gino, Vivian, Tippy, Starlo, Olivia, etc. Now, I could be completely unaware of this, and for all I know, there could be a massive fan base all about Edge. Which, honestly, might be looking to be the case, looking at the internet in some ways. Honestly, I kinda wish she was in Super Smash Bros. Because, in all honesty, as much as I'd love to see other icons in Smash like Geno, Waluigi, Shadow, Hat Kid, Yuna, Octolings, or even Rayman, you know who else would make for a great addition to Super Smash Bros?
My mom! Shut up!
Sorry, I just need to get that out of my system. Edge, that's who. I mean, I just imagine her side specials pretty much like Pyra's, just less flames. Unless she's got, I forget what the name of that fire spark is. I'm gonna put it, like, right beside me. So, in conclusion, Edge has quickly become one of my favorite heroes, and characters in general, in the Mario universe. And the fact that she is just so unique, even in comparison to the other mainstay heroes of the franchise, really helps too. And you know what? One of the main reasons I made this video is maybe this video can put into proper words why many people love Edge, and Mario plus Rabbid Sparks of Hope as a whole. I mean, the same could be said about my Reclusa video, and that one did great. So, I was hoping to shine the spotlight on another gem of a Mario game. Also, I'm making a promise to you guys. 500 likes on this video, and I make another video ranking the villains of the Mario plus Rabbids games. And I realize how similar that type of content is to many other YouTubers out there. You know who else specifically makes these kinds of videos?
My mom! Shut up!
Make a wish, honey.
He could be all right.
Wait, did you just start clapping because I called you a queen with the Uganda Knuckles clip? If that's the case, yeah, that clip from Jonah is right. You are so vain. Alright, I'm going to sleep. See you next time.